By the end of the first millennium AD, one small group of 9 French crusaders formed under the name Knights Templar.
Now, the official story is that they were created to protect pilgrims visiting the Holy Land. They went to Jerusalem and they stayed there for 9 years, and they were searching for something, and it seems they found it, whatever it was. And suddenly things changed very rapidly. This small little 9-man organization started to massively expand.
Just what the Knights Templar find remains a mystery. The persistent rumor is that they find the Holy Grail, which is, depending on alternate legends, either the chalice used by Christ at the Last Supper or a piece of the cross he was crucified on.
It became one of the most, if not the most influential organizations in Europe. To join the Templars, you had to give them all your wealth and land, and they were signing up the noble families of Europe. They became massively wealthy, massively quickly.
For nearly 200 years, the Knights Templar gained hundreds, perhaps thousands of members from the wealthiest of the European elite. Although the total membership remains unknown, we do know the Knights Templar are able to amass a fortune they use to exert tremendous control throughout Europe by, in effect, controlling its largest private banking system.
They had the crown heads of Europe up to their neck in debt to them.
In 1307, the Knights Templar are almost wiped out. The King of France convinces Pope Clement V that they are not the holy defenders of the faith, but in fact are seeking to destroy it.
I think it was the King of France's desire for their wealth more than anything else which caused him to turn against them. But the vehicle that he used to turn against them was a conspiracy theory. He found it useful, as have many kings and many other people since then found it useful to adopt a conspiracy theory as a means to attack an enemy.
Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, is burned at the stake in Paris in 1314. But a few surviving Templars are believed to have escaped execution.
The Templars went north, fleeing from France, to Scotland, and they re-emerged under another name, the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is the biggest secret society in the world. Its membership pervades world politics, business, banking, the whole shebang. And it's the Templars under another name.
The Knights Templar, fleeing persecution by the King of France, bring their secret knowledge, whatever that may have been, to Britain and form regional clubs called lodges in a new organization called Freemasonry. Modern Masonry, however, claims no connection to the Knights Templar.
Probably the #1 secret society in terms of fear and speculation are the Freemasons.
The Freemasons are the connective tissue that have carried ancient knowledge all the way through the centuries up into the modern secret societies.
Just about the only thing conspiracy advocates and Freemason historians agree on is the date of the first Grand Lodge meeting of the organization, June 24th, 1717, at the Goose and Gridiron Ale House in London, England. The Freemasons were founded as an organization dedicated to the free exchange of ideas.
That might sound simple and obvious today, but there weren't many such places where individuals could get together and freely discuss the issues of the day.
Freemasons arrive in America as early as the 1730s, and very quickly they establish a membership roll of prestigious colonists.
Of the 56 signatories of the American Declaration of Independence, 50 were known Freemasons, only one was known not to be. George Washington's first inauguration in 1789 was a Freemasonic ritual. Look at the pictures.
At the same time that American Freemasons are supposedly using their secret knowledge to create a new country, a Freemason in Bavaria by the name of Adam Weishaupt forms a secret society known as the Order of the Illuminati. Within a few short years, the Illuminati grows to over 2,000 members from throughout Europe. The organization claims to be a forum for free thinkers to discuss political change. But to the rulers of Europe, it is a subversive secret society.
Illuminati were not just involved, they were the driving force behind the creation of what we now call the United States.
Ike and others point to the fact that the Illuminati's symbol, the pyramid with an all-seeing raised capstone, is also a symbol of American governance.
The reverse of the Great Seal of the United States had this Illuminati symbol on it. And one of the great frontmen for the Illuminati in the 20th century, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, put it on the dollar bill, the same symbol. And if you look at the words above and below, it actually says welcoming the arrival of the new secular order, the New World Order. And the New World Order is one of the code names for this Illuminati agenda.
Even the most endearing of all American icons is believed by many to be a symbol of the Illuminati conspiracy.
The most obvious symbol of the Illuminati through history has been the torch, or the lighted torch, or the flame. Illuminated ones, Illuminati. Now, the most famous lighted torch in the world is the Statue of Liberty, right, in New York Harbor. Now, of course, because of the propaganda, Americans see that as a symbol of they're in the land of the free. That Statue of Liberty was given to New York by French Freemasons from Paris. And in this topsy-turvy world, that is not saying in New York Harbor, look, this is the land of the free. What that's saying is, we're running the show, we're telling you, but you can't see it, can you?
Now, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that all Masons are sinister conspirators. It's not the case at all. But what Masonic historians and authors have made very, very plain is that within Freemasonry, there is a small inner core, an inner circle, if you will, of people who have some knowledge of the true agenda. And then you have a huge outer circle that basically doesn't even know the inner circle.
William Howard Taft, George Bush, George W. Bush, numerous senators and ambassadors, industrialists like William Whitney, CIA agents, State Department officials, and
The conspiracy exposed in Bavaria was of an entirely different order. The Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, a professor at Ingolstadt University. Weishaupt obviously had been a serious student of the occult, for many of its bizarre features and symbols were incorporated into his organization. Weishaupt had been active in the Masonic lodges of Germany, and found in them the perfect vehicle for recruiting into his secret order, which he described publicly as the highest level of Freemasonry. The Illuminati was formally incorporated into the Masonic lodges at the Congress of Wilhelmsbad in 1780. It should be noted that Freemasonry in England and America historically is quite different. Its members are characterized by the highest standards of integrity. Nevertheless, it is a fact that from 1780 on, the Illuminati did flourish as a parasite on the highest levels of the Masonic movement in Europe, especially the Grand Orient lodges of France. There were 8 conspiratorial rings within rings, advancing from the outermost novice inward to Rex, or king. The king, of course, was Weishaupt himself, who had adopted the code name Spartacus. Finally, to see the ultimate goal of the order. It was the destruction of all religion, replaced by the worship of reason, or humanism, and the destruction of all independent governments, replaced by a new world order, a world government ruled from behind the scenes by the illuminated ones. The public record of the Illuminati is quite thin, but it does show that before it was exposed briefly in 1786, it had already enjoyed immense success in attracting into its outer rings some of the most prominent men of Europe. Its roster included important names in both government and finance. It was the most important single force behind the French Revolution. Each year, May 1st is celebrated by communists world over as a day of international solidarity. As mentioned previously, the Illuminati also was founded on May 1st. Undoubtedly, this is merely a coincidence. The symbol of the all-seeing eye is closely associated with the Illuminati. Like many other features of this conspiracy, apparently it was taken by Adam Weishaupt from the occult symbolism of ancient history. It appears today among the symbols of the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, and many others around the world, including the Cao Dai in South Vietnam.
Famous occultist and secretary of Aleister Crowley, he knew about the middle pillar. The three pillars with the highlighted middle pillar, theme expressed.
What we're defining here is Freemasonry and their secrets. And their secrets all lie within Kabbalism. Now, Kabbalism is an ancient Hebrew mysticism, and it has been actually passed down from the Egyptians and probably back to Atlantis, but we have it at least from the Egyptians through the Hebrews and up till the Freemasons. And it is admitted 70 times in Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike that Freemasonry is Kabbalism.